Oh, hello. You catch me as I'm wandering around the Romney Marsh here in Kent on this overcast and slightly drizzly day. But handy you caught me there, because I've just bought a new lens, the Samyang 35mm 1.4, and I'm just going to kind of talk to you about it. Initial impressions: solid metal body, f1.4, 35mm is a good wide angle. 1.4 is going to make the background look super blurry. It's super sharp, it's a good size, it's a nice weight, it feels good on the camera in your hand. Just buy it already. Why haven't you bought it? So I'm now going to shoot the rest of this video with the 35mm 1.4 so you can see what it's like on video. I mean, for this kind of situation, this kind of vlogging mode, it's probably a little bit tight, but also it does give it that nice blurry background. I mean, do you want to see my face this close? I mean, I am holding right now the camera as far away as possible while holding it on a tripod, so if this is too tight now, then don't get it for vlogging. So I mainly bought this lens, well, the reason I bought this lens was for doing portraiture for weddings, because 35mm is nice and wide, f1.4 is going to make everything look amazing. But I've had this a few weeks now, and I thought, why don't I try it in other types of photography, like landscape, astrophotography, that kind of thing. Obviously a bit of video work here, so we're seeing how versatile this lens actually is. And too lazy to watch the thing? Basically it's a really good lens, but if you want to see more, just keep watching. So for portraits, we all know 35 1.4 is just a great lens. It's, you know, part of most portrait and wedding photographers' portfolios. But what about the other areas? Landscape, astrophotography? Well, let's have a look at that. Firstly, landscape. Let's go back in time to when I went and visited Corfe Castle but a week ago. So good morning. I am in the area vicinity of Swanage, down along the south coast, and specifically Corfe Castle, to take a nice sunrise picture. And I feel that we're going to have a really good sunrise. We've got a good amount of cloud. I can already in the distance see the colour coming through from the sun. The sun's coming up from over there, and as it comes up, it's going to cast some light, some side light onto the castle. But specifically what I wanted to do this morning was try out the 35mm prime. So the idea is, using the 35mm prime, it should give me a decent width. I mean, 35mm was the go-to lens years ago, 35mm film. I want to show the versatility of a 35mm prime, and we're going to start with some landscape. What I wanted to do I came down the hill along to this ridge near the cowpats because I wanted to get a bit closer in. I didn't like the hill in. I don't like just a bit of grass in the foreground. I don't like it, so I wanted to get a bit nearer so that I can get more of the actual castle, the hill it's on, and also come over to the right a bit, so I'm looking past the castle into the valley more, with just getting a touch of this hill on the other side in it as well, and pretty much all that castle down to where all them tents are. It's filling up the frame, looking over into the valley, and also check out this sky. I feel like I only need to use the polarizer this morning just to add a bit of contrast into the sky. So manual focus, f8, I don't know what the best f-stop is for this lens yet, for the best sharpness, but f8 I feel is pretty safe bet. 2 seconds currently, ISO 50, manually focused. Polarizer. It's just a matter of waiting for the light now. Yeah. Just wanted to come round side of the hill so I can see the sunrise more, because I don't know if you can see what I can see, but I don't think I've seen colours like this in a long time. It looks amazing, absolutely amazing. That is some amazing light. Just need that to come up a bit higher, hit the side of the castle here, really make the clouds pop over there. And that would be amazing. This is one of those times where you wish you had that new Mavic Pro 2 with a 1-inch sensor. Oh, that would look gorgeous right now. A bit of drone, 1-inch sensor videoing going on. One day. So being that I'm using the 35mm, I've got to extol the virtues of using a prime, why you should use a prime for landscapes. A, it's going to be sharp, real sharp, sharper than any zoom out there. That is a massive bonus when you want the best images for your landscapes, and when you print them up big, they look amazing. 2, you got to start thinking a bit more, and this is what I like. You got to get outside of just setting up anywhere and zooming in. You have to think about where you're going to put the camera. You got a fixed focal length, so you got to move around like I did this morning. I was up the hill, I came down, then I moved along to somewhere where I felt it had the best angle, the best composition to fill the frame and use most of that 35mm. Number 3, I've got to think of a third reason now. I thought of one. Number 3, a 35mm prime. For landscape, it doesn't matter if it's autofocus, because I personally always manual with landscape photography, so you can probably pick up a vintage prime for next to nothing. I would say a good vintage prime under £100. Compare that to a zoom, well, you're going to be spending way more than that for a good zoom. Hello, welcome to my personal prison here on the marsh. Now, I don't know about you, but those landscape pictures I got at Corfe Castle just looked amazing when I was really zooming in, pixel peeping. It was super sharp across the whole frame, just corner to corner in the centre, just beautiful. So I can't say enough about using a prime lens for landscape photography, particularly this one, the Samyang 35 1.4. You know, once you start opening, closing down the anyway, once you start closing down the f-stop and, you know, getting to f8, them higher f numbers, it really comes into a league of its own. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's sharp wide open, but stop it down and you'd just be blown away with the quality you get from this lens. Yeah, so, and I like the fact that 35mm, a fixed focal length, has to make you think and move around. It's not a bad thing. So the thumb finger up for the Samyang 35 1.4 in regards to landscape photography. So now the next test for this lens, shooting wide open 35mm into the dark. I mean, this is middle of the day, but at night when it's dark, no clouds, you can see the stars, in particular the Milky Way at this time of year. And I wanted to go down to Dungeness where there's some beautiful scenery. I could take some nighttime pictures of the Milky Way and the stars and see how the lens performs. Wide open 1.4, using a not as wide focal length as people would normally use for astrophotography. Normally you go down to 14mm, 20mm. This is 35mm. How's that going to perform at night when it's got to try and suck in all as much light as it can? Well, let me tell you, it's a surprising result. I need to get out of here. So, time 9:36. It's dark, there's no clouds, so I'm going to shoot some astro with the 35 1.4. Let's see how it goes. This is very spooky. So it is, whoa, don't fall down the hall. It is pitch black. walking on the edge of the road here. It is pitch black. This is too bright, this light. That is a nicer, softer light. Use the phone screen. So it is pitch black, not a cloud in the sky. The power station is humming away over there. And I'm going to get a shot of the Milky Way and the lighthouse you can see just behind me there. So that is where I'm heading, if I don't walk into curbs and things. Destination, we've got the lighthouse there being beautifully lit with the I don't know if you can tell, but the light is actually spinning around, lighting up the distance. And then, if I got this done correctly, the Milky Way should be running directly behind the lighthouse there. So that's the idea. I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod 35mm 1.4 portrait. Try and do something with that involving Milky Way and Lighthouse, as aforementioned. So that was astrophotography there. I think you'll agree with me that the results were surprising. I mean, I didn't expect it to be as good as it is for astrophotography, all the light it can suck in. And in researching this lens, or this focal length and f-stop of 1.4, I've realised it actually sucks in more light than like a 18mm 2.8, which is very, very interesting. So, and plus it's sharp, wide open, so even better than the real thing. I don't know, that's a song, yeah. Anyway, so that was astro. What about portraiture? What about video? Well, the video is what you're seeing now. Hopefully it's focusing and following me around like it should. You know, I'm going to get right near and then start pulling away, and it should follow me and give you nice, that nice bokeh, shallow depth of field. Yeah, which is what you want from a lens like this. So for video, I think it works pretty well. It's not, you know, I'm not going to use it all the time for like a vlogging situation, but for creating a dramatic look, it definitely does that. And with portraiture and weddings, well, hopefully by the time I put this video out, I've started to do some of that, and hopefully you'll see some of those pictures. Doesn't really work as a comfortable seat, this. Well, basically this is the end of the video, the end of the review, and the Samyang 35mm 1.4, you cannot go wrong with it. I mean, what are you going to compare it to? You've got the Sigma 35, you've got a Zeiss 35. This is for the Sony E mount in particular I'm talking about, and the Zeiss is going to be the most expensive, Sigma's in the middle, and then you got the Samyang, which is the cheapest, hence why I went for it. But for value for money, it's extremely good. You cannot go wrong. It's sharp, it works well, the autofocus is great, the bokeh looks great, it's a good size, it's a good weight, it just works, you know, built well. I can't say enough about it. For the money, what you get, great value. So yeah, I'm comfortable, so I'm going to go. Bye.